connect you to the next available agent.
Take two. Should I say it again? My hair is getting browner by the day, dude.
Yeah, this is the most important fourth episode of Volley Hotline.
Yes.
Do you know why?
Yeah, because I haven't seen the sun in 3 months.
I thought you were asking why we are doing the fourth episode, because we said so, like we will try to do it.
Yeah, also why are we doing the fourth episode, dude? Honestly.
That's why. You're struggling because you haven't got any sun here in Poland.
Yeah, that's the actual truth. But it's not even me. My hair is struggling to stay blonde, and I'm a natural blonde, baby.
How important is to you how you look? Like on a scale from 1 to 10.
Oh, we're just coming in with the heavy hitters.
You started with your hair.
That's a fantastic question, dude. I'll tell you what. I will say, like, when I first came to Poland, it was the first time my butt matched the rest of my body in terms of skin color. And it was the first time I saw like how white I am. And then I started recognizing like all these pimples and my hair gets darker. And I'm like, I'm not that beautiful, dark, blonde haired baby anymore, you know? And I was like, I don't want to say insecure about it, but I like the way I look better with blonde hair and tanner skin, you know? So like if I had to say how much do I care about what I look like, it's like, yeah, I would be lying if I said I don't care at all. But at the same time, like, you know,
but you are the guy who is like dressing up when he's going on the practice, like to look good, or you just don't care and you wear the same tracksuit? Yeah,
I'll tell you
every day, and you don't care.
I tell you what, I was definitely someone who wore whatever was closest to me for a long time. You know, you wake up and like whatever's kind of on the ground or like whatever shirt's closest to you, I just put that on, or wear sweats in the house and then go to training with sweats on. I don't do that anymore.
Pajamas.
Yeah, I don't do that anymore. I put on, luckily I've had amazing influences on my style. And so I've started to like curate my own style a little bit. And like, I see for me the benefits of like wearing things out. It makes me feel different.
But
like
even
to transition from like in the house clothing to like now I'm outside, it's nice.
But even if the only people judging you would be your teammates in the locker room.
I mean, you guys...
Because you go to the garage, like you go to the garage.
Yeah, I don't see anybody.
Inside the car, you go to the sport hall, to the locker room, and then you...
I go to a butcher every day, though. So I see my butcher who cuts my meat and my chicken. Shout out to... I don't know the name of you in Villanov, dude. That stuff is... he has really good meat and wild game, so it's great. But yeah, you're right. I mean, no one really sees me. It's not like I'm really going out. Sometimes I do, but often not. It's, you know, like you said, in the garage, get my car, go to the gym, come back. But I actually feel like when I'm wearing like jeans and a shirt, let's say, in some way it makes me feel like I should be like doing, like it's okay to do something. Whereas like if I just have sweats on, it's like everything's just blended together and it kind of loses its essence. You know what I mean? I'm about the essence right now.
Krobas, you care how you look in the locker room?
Yeah, I guess I like to comb my hair and prepare my mustache to be... I feel like...
we need the Crocus cam, dude. Your mustache looks so good right now.
Top of the top.
Yeah, you cleaned it up recently, huh?
Yeah, today.
Yeah, it looks really
Krobas
good.
This morning. Krobas is editing the video so he can put his picture right now over here, how he looks.
Please do.
If you don't know, but I think everybody knows.
But it's always... I feel like I feel better prepared to the practice when I look good, when I feel good, I feel fresh. I feel instantly I'm not so tired before practice because I feel ready to roll.
But you mean only about the look, like your hair and mustache, or you are also like putting some nice clothes to go inside? Because I remember like there was one guy, maybe he's watching us because he commented one video, Salvador Hidalgo Oliva.
Oh yeah.
He was the guy like dressing up, from what I've heard, because I saw some pictures of course on Instagram, but this guy, he has a style, man, like suits, every different suit for every practice,
hats, everything. Like,
dude, I'll tell you what, I used to think style was like just for people who were trying hard, you know. And now I'm like, I'm about it. I think there's something really cool about like curating and creating your own style. I think about it the same way with like the way a room is organized and furniture looks, and like I never cared about that. I was like the guy sleeping on people's couches, honestly, for a long time. Like, just, you know, I didn't care. Like, mix it all together, clothes on the ground. Who really cares? And then you get used to like what it feels like to be in a clean space. And then you go to a restaurant and it's like really well curated, the way it looks, the vibe of it, it makes you feel different, right? And then I started to realize like, yeah, why not then wear clothing that match like how you feel or a style you're trying to portray for yourself or whatever. And because I think there's a difference between like I care what I look like versus I'm enjoying trying out different styles, let's say.
But even if you are the only person who sees you in the mirror, like this day, you like to look good, like dress good and make your hair, and or if you are not seeing anybody this day, you don't care.
I mean, some people may think this is bullshit, but I really feel like that's how I am anyways. Like I'm wearing what I wear for myself.
But girls
like
always say it, like I do it for myself, I wear it for myself, but I always feel like it's
an interesting question,
No,
dude.
it's
Yeah,
just
you're
pure
right.
lie.
How much of that is truthful is a really interesting topic. I don't know. I mean, do you care? I mean, what's your...
That's why I'm trying to look your like reaction for these questions and what's like your eyebrows are moving when you say it, if you are lying or not. Because me, I think when I see only you guys in the locker room, I don't care. Like, sorry, but if I go only for the locker room and then I come back home, I really don't care. I just take whatever from my wardrobe, closet,
Yeah.
like okay. And but if I have to go like someplace else before or after practice, I care more. I like to look good. I like to have like, I don't know, nice suit for the special occasions, or like I remember, and maybe this is also what built me as a fashion guy, because I don't know if you had the same in the USA, but when we were in the primary school, like once a month we were going to some theater or I don't know, cinema or museum, like a lesson outside the
we called it a field trip.
Yeah. And that time, me and my parents, we lived like 1 hour by car outside of Warsaw. This is important because for the next part of the story. And I forgot to tell my parents that we are going to the National Theater for the like really fancy one. You have to dress nice, like put some shirt and nice pants. And I forgot it. I forgot that we have this play on which we are going to see, and so we couldn't return as soon as
to the house because
it was too far away. And I was just in my worst tracksuit, worst like green pants.
And your parents were wearing whatever also, or they?
But they didn't go because they were just putting me to the primary,
just
dropping me off, and they left me there, and I forgot, and I was so embarrassed. Like I felt really bad because everybody was looking so nice, because it was like it's the biggest theater in Warsaw, and everybody was looking nice, and I was in this tracksuit. But this was like painful experience for me. So from that time, maybe not from that time, but I like to look good, and it's better to be, how to say, overdressed than undressed, so you look better than the occasion is expecting from you, like better than you should, maybe.
It's over deliver.
Over deliver. Yeah,
that's really interesting. So how much do you, I mean, you said it, the first question was like on a scale from 1 to 10, how much do you care? It sounds like you do care.
I think it depends from the occasion. Like not every time I care the same. Like when I'm at home or I don't have to go anywhere, I just wear the clothes I'm comfortable in. But if I go, I don't know, just outside to some restaurant or to see some other people than my teammates, I think I care. I would say I don't know, this scale could be till 10, so maybe 8, 9. It's important, but not the most important.
See, what were you going to say? Go ahead.
What about the game day, guys? Because when you look at NBA, these guys are crazy, wearing some fancy suits, fancy clothes.
This is obligatory.
I know.
They have this in contracts.
But it's so nice, and I feel maybe not in our gym, but in bigger, nicer gyms, it would be really nice to see a team.
Dude, you know what's so funny? When I went to school in Hawaii, I went to University of Hawaii and played there. I had a game day outfit where I would wear my Uggs and then a blazer. And like that was my my game day outfit is like short, like swim shorts, a blazer, and Uggs. And that year we were the worst team in school history. And after that, our coach did not let us have long hair, did not let us have facial hair, and we had to wear the same thing every time for every game. But that was the only time when you thought of that, like we had a similar gym to like an arena. So it was like walking into the arena with my blazer on and my Uggs. And I'm thinking I'm so sick, like just with the worst style ever. But you know what's really interesting? It's like sometimes it's hard for me to know how much I care. Like I don't think my ego will allow me to know how much I really care, because I genuinely don't. Like what I'm wearing now, if we went to like a dinner somewhere, I'd probably wear this unless it was like, hey, it's a nice reason to dress up a little bit. But like, so yeah, I guess I wear just in case. I'm prepared, you know. If you're like, hey, let's go to dinner, I'm like, I'm fucking ready to go. Yeah, but I don't know, sometimes I'm like, I don't know how much honestly, I'm doing a lot of work in therapy lately, so I feel like I'm like not a weird guy to talk to right now, but I'm like understanding so much more about myself, like how much how much I'm hiding. There's certain things in my personality that are like I'm like hiding from myself, you know. So it's like hard to really know.
But I would love to have this like obligation to wear a good suit for the away game or for the home game, that you have to come like in the, let's say, club. If we have the suits from the club, like everybody has the same suit and nice suitcase, and we have to travel in this.
Do any teams do that?
Because in football for sure, in NBA also. Like
I meant volleyball teams. Like
in volleyball, I had only this when we were playing Champions League when I was in Bełchatów. We had suits, like 2 different suits, I think, even for one season, and we were traveling in different sets of clothing for the away games.
Like full suits.
Yeah.
That's
suits,
cool.
shirts, like ties and everything, nice shoes. And yeah,
it's got to make a difference. I mean, did it feel like it made any difference showing up to a game in a fucking full suit? You had to feel good.
Yeah,
I think
for sure.
you just feel good. But
you also seem like a guy who would look really good in a full suit, you know, with that beard, that classic cut.
But also I think like some guys on the other hand, they would think that it's so uncomfortable, like when you have to travel in this, and the most important thing is your comfort. And when you have to travel in suit, or like in the bus, for example, this was for the away games where we were traveling by the plane. Like you go to the airport, people are looking nice at the airports. I have this impression that the airports is like this special place where everybody is trying to look good while traveling, and you see some nice people there, and everybody is happy because or they go on some nice trips on holidays, or they are going to visit their families.
Dude, you know what? You're bringing up now like a really interesting like point for team dynamic is what is the balance between like rules on what to wear and just rules in general? Because I have always been a guy who's like, fuck rules. Like if I want to, like, let me wear whatever I want. Why do we all have to wear the same thing? Why do we all have to be at dinner at the same time? And like in some teams, luckily here, it's like when you finish dinner, you can just leave. But I had like in Italy, for example, like we all had to be done and then we could leave. I'm just not a rules guy. And I'm really interested to know, like, especially for like, man, I don't know, people in universities or wherever you are, like, when it comes to team dynamic, how important do you think it is to wear the same outfit when you travel, or to like, is that stuff really important, or what do you think?
I think some rules are really important to have. Like you cannot be you cannot function without any rules like in a team, because we also have some rules on the court after, and for me it's like a practice for the
some structure is good.
Some structure, to have some structure, because after, if you see that someone can how to say, not expect, what is the name of? Oh shit!
What are you trying to say?
Okay, it doesn't matter. If somebody's
if
somebody's following the rules outside the court, this is what I'm trying to say. If somebody's following the rules outside the court, so you are sure of your teammate that he will follow the rules also inside the court. That if he's not late to go for the meal, if we have to be at the same time, or for the bus, you're sure that he will not be late, I don't know, in the tempo of attack, or like with the set. Maybe it's stupid, but this is what my coach when I was young, he taught us this. Like, you have to, these rules are for this, to prepare you for the rules on the court, and we are equal in the team. that's why also we had to have the same socks, and he was so pissed like once when one of the guy was wearing different socks, and just because he wanted to have them, and he was wearing Nikes, and we had everybody has socks with the logo of the club, and he just said he wants to wear Nikes, and he was so pissed on him, like he didn't let him play, he didn't let him go out of the locker room. So, and this guy didn't want to take them off, so this player put the club socks on the Nike socks, so he had like 2 pairs.
That's the win-win situation.
Win-win situation, yeah. So I think I have this from my youth club. That's
okay. But now, how do you still feel the same way? Do you still feel it's as important?
I feel that it's important if we are a team, and for me, still everybody is equal in the team. And okay, you can show your style with your shoes, for example. But if the sponsor or the club needs you to play in the socks that have the logo of the sponsor, we have same shirts, same pants. Like on the court, we have to look the same, and it could be good that everybody is following these rules. And you can have different shoes, of course, but with these socks, for example, I think everybody should have the same.
I will say that, like, in hearing you talk about it, when it comes to sponsors that are paying our salaries, let's say in some way, then yeah, that makes a lot of sense to have that. I was thinking even about like in college, like for example, so when I played at Hawaii, playing in Hawaii is like the closest thing to playing professionally you can get as a college experience for men's volleyball. And that's because we have a 10,000 seat arena. It sells out. It's on TV all over all the bars. Like, it's a huge deal because Hawaii doesn't have pro sports, you know? So their college, their university is pro. And I just remember, like, after having such a bad season, we're the worst team in school history. We were like, I don't even remember our record. It was so bad. And we all had like long hair and facial hair and like wore whatever, you know, it was just kind of like loose. Our coach was like, the people in the stands have been writing like, you guys look really unprofessional and you're losing, like that they're correlated. And so since that day, he changed rules my next 3 years there, where you couldn't have any hair that touched your ears and you couldn't have any facial hair. And he was like, got really strict with the rules. And obviously I hated that, you know, and to me, I hate this idea that like they're correlated, you know. I think it's like we're really conditioned to think that they are. And in some ways, like I see where the discipline transfers over, you know.
But did you play better after? Like,
yeah, we did. We did.
So it was a good idea, right?
I mean, you could say that, sure. Like you could say that because we were more disciplined with the way we looked that we played better, but that wouldn't be the truth, you know. Like that's not why. The reason why is, well, a complicated one, but we had different players and we got older and better and stronger. And
yeah, but this topic was really big in Poland when there was national team coach Ferdinando De Giorgi, and after was Vital Heinonen. And I think they are two completely different guys. And De Giorgi that time was the guy who said that we have to start to eat at the same time, like we have to wait before the canteen to go inside with him, like at the same time, like at 8. If you have breakfast at 8 a.m., we waited before the canteen for him to come. He was looking if everybody is there. Okay, so we can get in and start to eat.
wow.
After we had to finish like till when the last guy is finishing his meal. He finished. Okay, like big pressure on this guy because some guys are eating faster or more or less, and some guys are eating slower. So for me, this kind of rules are stupid because we are adults, and if you want to eat like 3 hours before the practice and come at 6 a.m. because you cannot sleep, it's okay. And if you want to eat like straight 5 minutes before the practice, for me, is also okay. So these rules right now, I think they are stupid. And apparently that time, most of the guys thought the same, and it didn't work with this coach. But after came Vital, and you know, he was not disciplined that much, and he had more free like thinking about the life of the team, and the guys could take their families on the camps like before some tournaments, and it was like I think much better for the players and for their families, for example. And you can eat whenever you want and whatever you want. So I think these rules which the Georgi said, these were too much. I don't know what you think. Yeah, you said you had this in Italy, so maybe this is like an Italian style of eating.
Super traditional, also, and like old school. And I'm like the worst guy to talk about this subject because I hate so much rules. And when I was young, I really rebelled against it. And now that I've gotten older, I'm like, I see where having structure and discipline is really important. And obviously, I think like I know the combination that really works. And to me, if you have a coach and you've created a culture that everyone respects each other and loves each other and wants to play for each other, then all the little like what you're wearing, what time you eat, like who gives a shit? If you show up to training like wanting to get better, excited to get better, your coach creates that environment for you, then in my opinion, that's the stuff that matters. And that's when you get kids to buy in. I mean, my biggest thing I remember growing up is like, if you have a coach you don't like or a coach who's just like an authority figure, like I hated that type of environment. It didn't inspire me to be a better volleyball player.
But
you know,
I think you said important thing. I think this is about the respect to your teammates, this following the rules, because for sure in every team there is somebody who doesn't like these rules and somebody who cannot live without them. But you have to like these rules are apparently like the coach or I don't know the president or sponsors, like whoever made them. They're like they are obliged like for the all the team, and this is about about respect for your teammates, that if they can follow the rules, you can follow them also. Like these are the team rules, and if you are late for the bus and your teammates have to wait for you like 3 minutes or 5 minutes, and they stood up earlier to be on time, and you cannot. So this is like for me some kind of being disrespectful to your teammates like following this example. So yeah, I think the rules are good, and if you cannot follow the rules, like you should maybe go in the individual sport.
Play some tennis.
Whoa,
maybe.
dude. Are you a rule breaker or a rule maker? Drop it in the comments. We want to know, dude. Are you a freaking... You following the? Are you a herder or are you a sheep?
Yeah, we want to hear you, because also I think Team USA is the only team which I like follow on Instagram. When I follow your camps, when you are practicing, you have different clothes. Like everybody has different shirts. Like you don't have the same shirts and.
It's that good old fashioned American freedom.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. But that I do. Just to be clear, I do think that like having rules and sticking to rules as a team is really important. I'm also just the guy who's like, let's talk about why we have these rules. What is it really doing? Is it really necessary? And yeah, I mean, I've had like some of them being late, for example. The older you get, the more you realize how important it is to be on time. If you're going to meet on a call at 6:30 with someone, like be there at 6:30. And when I was younger, it was like, oh, I forgot, you know, because you don't know how to manage your time as well. And then you get older and you want to be with your family and you have so much going on and you have other projects, doing this podcast, like all these different things, you know, you're like, yeah, when we say we're going to be there at 8, be there at 8, you know?
Yeah.
And I respect that. And I think following and learning how to have to create some discipline for yourself is really important. But when we're talking about rules for being a team in volleyball and stuff, I'm like, maybe I should have played an individual sport, to be completely honest with you, but I love volleyball. And I also think all of us having to finish eating at the same time is dumb, and I stand by it.
Yeah, I think there are parts that the rules are good and they are not good, so you have to.
And I like the pay system. We don't do that. Actually, it's really interesting. We don't do that. Like, for example, in university and college, there was no like, if you're late for a meeting, you have to pay. But I think it's kind of nice. And in fact, the reason I love the way that they set it up here in Europe, whereas if you serve a ball under the net, if you are late to something, if you're wearing the wrong shirt when we're all supposed to wear the same shirt, as much as I'm not the biggest fan of that rule personally, but it's still like, okay, for the sponsor, for us to have the same look, if you don't, you pay. And all of that money gets used for the team at the end of the year usually, or however, to buy a speaker, to buy things for the team. I think that's the best rule, like the best system I've ever seen for having it set up where it's like, if you screw up, you're paying towards the team, which I think is like a really cool way to
Yeah, but it's not only about penalties, it's also about the awards. Like if you get an MVP award, like you pay for the team because you are thankful because one guy can be the best on the court, but you wouldn't be as good if not your teammates.
You guys also do that for birthdays, which I think is amazing. Like we don't do that in the States. It's like if it's your birthday, like everything's paid for. Do they do it in Poland where like if it's your birthday and you go to a dinner, like you buy the dinner for all the friends that came?
Yeah.
Is that how it works?
I think it works like this.
What do you guys think of that, dude?
I don't know. For me, it's okay. Like, this is just our culture. I think if we go,
it's just hilarious how it's the exact opposite.
If I have birthday, I invite my friends.
But then you get some gifts,
But you get a gift,
so it's like equal. It's nice.
You think I should, for example, I invite you. I have birthday. We go to the restaurant, and you have to pay for me as a gift. Yeah, for my meal. It works like this in
the US for sure. If it's your birthday, you don't pay for anything. You eat, you drink, people buy you stuff, but you're not paying for a single thing that entire day. If we get an Uber to a restaurant, it's like, no, I got it. It's your birthday. But it's like kind of the opposite, like the total opposite out here in Europe, where it's like,
but you get gifts. You get gifts also, or not? I mean, or you just go like
honestly, no.
Because if we go just the three of us, it's okay. But if we go like 20 people, and like the gift for you is that you will not pay for your meal, and we divide your meal on 20 people.
Okay, but let me tell you this: like my birthday is March 5th, so it's coming up, boys. Okay, it's coming up.
Smart
in like a month.
guy. He said it here, so everybody will know.
This is what I'm saying is like if we went to dinner, if I like, hey, let's go to a dinner for my birthday, and we went to some restaurant, and you guys got me gifts, I'd be like, what? Like, it would be really sweet. I would really appreciate it, But, like, I would not expect for a half a second that either of you would buy me a single thing. Like, nah, just
pay my meal.
Just come eat with me and then, pay my meal. Can you guys do that, dude? Can all 10 of you guys, like, pitch in 5 zloty to pay for my freaking chicken nuggets, dude?
Yeah, so I think it works like this, that I invite you and I pay for you, but I expect also... It's not, maybe not, I don't expect, but it's natural that you would buy me a gift if you go for a dinner on which I invited you, because you know that I would pay. And
so if your birthday was 2 weeks ago and you invited me to a dinner, there would be some expectation of like, I'm supposed to bring you a gift. You would assume I'd bring you a gift.
Okay. I do some different stuff for, I think like many years right now, 5 years maybe, because I don't want people to buy me gifts because I don't need anything, so I push them to pay for the charity. I just make the charity event and I send the link, and you can send the money that you would normally buy me, I don't know, some bottle of alcohol or some other gift. You can pay there, and
you're such a good fucking guy. Damn it, dude.
But I think this is a good solution. Like,
yeah,
because how many times you got the gift that you don't need, or you got the gift and you're like, okay, thank you, it's really nice.
I cannot remember the last time I got a gift from a friend on my birthday, and maybe that sounds really sad, but like, I'm always like here or something,
But do you have any friends, man? It's like
apparently
now you have thousands of friends watching you here, and they know the date of your birthday.
Yeah, come on.
So for sure you will get so many
gift.
We have to put like some, what is the name, like PO box. This was on Cartoon Network. I remember.
No one will say anything, and thank God. But you know what I mean? Like, at least for me, like, yeah, my friends are all over the world, and so what are they going to do? Like, they're not going to send me a gift, most likely. I have one, Benjamin Patch, the only guy who will, like, he'd give me a gift on my birthday. But everyone else, it's like...
Everybody will write you wishes on Facebook page. Like, it's like...
That's...
Stolat.
Dude, what's so funny now, every birthday I go on Facebook, or at some point after my birthday, I'll go on Facebook, and all the people who message me are, like, 50 and over, people that I've, like, met at one point in my life, or old fans, or, If you're saying happy birthday on Facebook, you're at least 50 years old, dude.
Yeah, some people just text you only on your birthday.
I mean, who uses Facebook anymore?
That's a good question.
It blows my mind that kids still use Snapchat. Like, Snapchat is forever ago to me, but it's not apparently. People still use it.
Yeah?
Yeah, dude.
Are you using Snapchat?
Well, no, we're not using it because we're grown-ass men, dude. But I just mean, like, the younger kids are using Snapchat right now, and I'm like, I thought Snapchat was like some old thing we used before Instagram stories, basically.
But it's strange, like
To send pictures of your wiener
Facebook
or
is
whatever.
Facebook is dying. No, it's not dying. We are just not using it like the
don't-
younger guys. We are the younger guys. The younger guys are not.
But you know,
using
we're
it.
up. We're trying to I'm trying to pump content every once in a while. And Facebook to me is like, yeah, I never go on Facebook. I would never, like, for what would I use Facebook? And it actually makes me mad. I'm like, why? I thought we decided that Instagram was what we were going to do. That's where it all was going to be. Then TikTok came in, like LinkedIn. There's all these different things that if you want to play the game, you got to.
And I think for the last 3 or I don't know 4 years, I used Facebook only to create an event to meet with, like for example, birthday. Like I want to make a dinner for 20 friends. I make an event on Facebook, and then there I invite you, so you get the message on Facebook. You know the date, the place, and everything. I don't have to call each one of you and invite you.
Crazy.
But this December, because my birthday is in December 27th, I didn't do that. I just wrote text messages to everyone.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it blows my mind. I can't believe people are still using Facebook, and it makes me mad. I just wish it was all in one place.
It's so funny when I get a Facebook invitation to friends, and I'm like, man, who does that?
Right? That's what I'm saying, dude.
Still.
But it does seem like if Facebook has anything it's holding on to left, it seems to be creating things for groups, and then it also seems to be like Facebook Marketplace. Do you guys have Is there Facebook Marketplace in Poland?
I think it is, but I'm not using it.
Yeah, okay, maybe.
know.
Yeah, maybe people don't use it, but it's a lot bigger, I would say, than in the States. People are using Facebook Marketplace to like sell like OLX or Allegro or whatever, you know.
I have a page there, like official page on Facebook, where I have like 130,000 people, and I'm not using it anymore. Like for a few years, I don't know. In one moment, I just stopped. I abandoned them.
Yeah, can I tell you what
Now
moment
I
it was?
feel really guilty.
It's when Instagram came along and was like, oh, all the features that are on Facebook are on Instagram, and Instagram is like more people are using it. I'll just use this.
Yeah, but for some time I was using both. I think even Snapchat, like I was using 3 things. Now I'm using 3 things. I use Instagram.
Use Twitter too, huh?
Twitter,
X.
X.
Yeah.
Do you have TikTok also?
And I have TikTok, but I'm not posting there so much.
Yeah. Like even X, dude, even people writing on Twitter, I'm just like, isn't that what Facebook is, or sorry, isn't that what Instagram is supposed to be? Why are,
But
I'm late. I'm just not a part of that. I'm just not a part of the Twitter stuff. I just don't get it. Like why, what are you using on Twitter that you can't get through Instagram? Like news? What do you guys use it for?
I feel
think
like
news.
it's for smarter guys, you know.
Honestly, it probably is,
But
dude.
every
why
day,
we
Elon Musk posts some new thing on Twitter,
but
dude. I'm
every
like,
day I
what?
read somebody who is not for sure smarter than the others.
That
No,
might
I
be
think
true.
I just use it for the news.
Yeah.
Mostly for the news and for the opinions about some events that happened in the world, some important, or some games, or I think this is I don't go to like websites with news. I go there to check what's going on, and I follow these websites or these TV stations on X because there they just post 1 sentence or 2 sentences about what happened, so I know I don't have to watch the news on the
But
main.
you know what's funny? When every time I post a picture on Twitter, someone writes me, "It's not Instagram, dude."
What's so funny is when I go on Twitter, I feel like I see a lot of like video postings and photo postings, and I'm like, isn't that what Instagram
Yeah.
was supposed to be?
Yeah.
I don't get it, dude.
But right now, I think, I don't know if you saw, but Mr. Beast posted first video, like 1 hour video only on X, like just on X, and it had like millions of views. And I think they just put this possibility to put the longer videos there, and people are watching also videos there. So
Everyone's
YouTube-
fighting for my attention, you
And
know?
now Instagram has this new feature. It's like kind of Twitter, these threads.
Yeah, Threads, that's right.
But it's not
Everyone's
Instagram, it's different
Yeah.
app.
Yeah, but
I'm
isn't
so
like, aren't you
confused.
mad? Aren't you mad? I'm mad, dude. That's exactly right. Threads is X or Twitter, but Instagram style. It's just
Yeah.
like, just pick one. Let's just pick one. All of us. Let's take a vote, like for a president or whatever, and we just pick one.
It's like streaming services. You have so many. You have Netflix, you have HBO Max, you have Disney, you have what else you have? You have in
Prime Video,
Prime, Amazon
Hulu.
Prime, yeah.
Yeah,
So many, and you have to like pay to 5 different companies to watch all the videos you want, like all the TV shows.
And then I end up going on YouTube and I pay for them anyways. You know, isn't that hilarious? Like, I mean, at least for me, I'm like, I want to watch Terminator 2 or something, and it's on Amazon Prime. I go on there for $3.99. It's on Amazon Prime. Makes me so mad, dude.
So you are the guy who pays for like one video $3.99, or you pay like monthly everywhere?
No, I pay for the single video. You know, what's funny is like I was the guy who had a friend in every category. You know, like I had my brother had Hulu, my other friend had Prime, my girlfriend had Netflix. Like that's the kind of guy I was like for the last 8 or 9 years. So I was like, why would I buy when I can use it? And then Netflix came up with that new rule that you can only have one like home device. And so I recently, like a couple weeks ago, bought Netflix out here in Poland, or bought it in the US, and I'm using it here. But Netflix was like $15, and then it was like $22 for the 4K premium. I was like, what is going on, dude? It made me mad. Anyways, we should answer questions, dude.
We had this intro which lasts 35 minutes of intro this time.
It was fun.
I'm so scared that we will not go to the most important question.
We can knock them through. Let's just go through them. We have a couple lined up. Yeah, let's go through them, baby.
Okay, so
to cut them short, it's fine.
We start from the first one. It's from Marcin Głowacki. Let's hear the question.
What's up, guys? My name is Marcin, and I struggle with giving criticism to the guys from my team. How do you point out your teammates' mistakes without sounding like an asshole? Please help me.
Impossible.
First of all, incredible submission, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Just direct to the point. I love this guy.
This is the way we want you to send us questions.
We also like personal story. I do, like, I wish he would have been like, yeah, there's this teammate and he keeps like I love that too. I will say I like getting real detailed.
Yeah, but 12 seconds. Please help me.
Come on, baby. I love it. That we can do.
Are you criticizing your teammates on the practice, or do you feel comfortable with it?
Oh my God, it's such a loaded question, dude. I mean, we talked earlier about like how important it is to create a culture of respect, and I think that that's very necessary for then being able to call out friends and brothers or teammates who are.
So this is the way of showing the respect to your teammates.
In my opinion, yeah. The problem is like, oftentimes, for example, we won't name names, but like most teams I've been on, there's always one guy who it's just like, maybe he's good, maybe he's not. Usually he's really good, but like he's sucking team energy in some way, you know? And I want to be the guy to say something, but it's like if I'm injured, for example, I'm like, I can't say anything. I'm not even playing right now. Or if he's like been a starter for a long time and I'm like a bench player, I'm like, how could I say anything to this guy?
So you think this depends on your position in the team?
I'm saying that's the reality of how it feels.
How it should be.
That's not how it should be.
And that's how it should be.
That's how it feels.
How
I think most people will relate to that as being like, yeah, there's this one guy I would love to say something, but I just play on the bench. Like, who am I to tell him something or her? Mm-hmm. And that's not how it should be. I think that's the reality of most people's experience. How it should be is that you recognize how important it is to push each other and to hold each other accountable, and that the best teams in the world are able to do that. Like the teams that really survive and thrive are teams that are not afraid to call each other out. And I don't know about you guys, but like I still struggle with it too. I've just reached a point, I feel like, where I have enough credit that now I can be someone to be like, yo, like clean it up. Like we have guys on the national team. Thomas Jeschke is one guy who's like always not afraid to be like, yo, you need to pass that ball perfect, you know? And I personally really respect that. But it's really interesting seeing like the new crop of like national team guys versus the old, like years ago, you know, when I first joined, it was like very edgy and guys were yelling at each other and it was just like, this is how it is, dude. And it's hard because I really love that. I love that type of culture where you can just be like, yo, you need to fucking dig that ball. And at the same time, I think there's something to be said about learning how to approach someone in a way that's ultimately beneficial, because ultimately it's about communication, you know?
So I think, first of all, things which happen on the practice are, as soon as you pass the door and you go inside the gym, should be like different environment completely. Like everybody is equal and everybody can like shout on you if you do some stupid mistake and put the pressure on you, because the practice is the time where everybody should put pressure on on other players, because this is also some kind of practice for dealing with this pressure, because on the game after we have so many people creating this pressure for us around that we need to be strong. And how can you be strong if you don't practice this? So if you have this pressure from your teammates on the practice, I think it's after easier for you during the game. And also I think I don't know what you guys think, that only on the practice we should like criticize our teammates. Like this is the only time you cannot do this on the game, because if you, for example, if I pass the ball bad on the practice and nobody say nothing, and after on the game I pass the same ball bad and then somebody would criticize me, I would be really angry on this guy, because for me there was a time on the practice to confront this situation and to speak with each other, and I don't know, to push me to do it better. But if I don't feel like anybody cares on the practice that I do some mistakes, and after when there is TV and people sitting on the audience, like thousands of people, and some other stuff around the game, and then somebody wants to show off that he will criticize me like in front of everyone, but he wasn't giving a shit on the practice if I did the same mistake. For me, it's really not cool.
Yeah, I mean, when someone criticizes you in a game, I also feel like that's because everyone's emotions are elevated, you know? And so oftentimes it's like, in some way you have to learn how to develop some, I agree with you, first of all, but I also think you need to learn to develop some thicker skin, understanding that like, he ultimately wants what's best for me and what's best for the team. I have to learn to not take this so personally. And if it's something that's negative, we need to have a conversation outside of the game to create an environment that we're all thriving in. Because I agree, it's not useful to be like, Andre, you got to pass that perfect, because that one time you classic middle couldn't pass a free ball, you know, it's landed right on his head and he passes over the net, you know, like, yeah, I'd be pissed too, you know?
No, I think you can be angry on me, of course, like these are different emotions on the game, and you play to win, and there is big pressure, and you can be pissed on me that I did this mistake. But if I was doing the same mistakes and you were not reacting on the practice, like you shouldn't go in front of me and say, hey, you have not, like now on the game, you have to pass this ball, what the fuck are you doing, like, man, why, and whatever. And I'm just speaking about this, like to react and to do more to make me better player on the practice than to show in front of everyone during the game that you are so unhappy with what I did.
Right.
But you didn't care on the practice.
And I want to be clear, I feel like we're talking about, I don't want to say two separate things, but like I am trying to point out more of like the reality of how I think volleyball is actually happening to this day. What you're talking about, I think, is the healthier solution. Like creating an environment where it's not just on the game that all of a sudden you're upset because you personally don't know how to manage your own emotions, to be like, okay, this isn't useful to say this to Anže because he can't pass a free ball, which by the way, you're probably one of the best free ball passing middles that I know. That's true though. Actually, you too, Krobus, man.
Thank you.
You guys are always working on it. Anyways, we don't want to get sidetracked here. I will say, like to answer this kid's question, if you want to become bulletproof and talk all the shit you want on any player for doing anything wrong, you have to be the absolute example. You have to be the guy who's working hard. You have to be the guy who's like constantly like someone where it's just like, how could I be mad at you? How could I possibly be mad at you for yelling at me? Because you're working hard every day. I don't see you slacking. And that's what's tough, is like oftentimes people who want to criticize are not the best examples, but we've all, I'm sure, had teammates. I can think of a few specific ones who it's just like, if he yells at me, I'm like, he's just the greatest example, dude. He's someone who's an absolute professional on all levels. Like those are the guys who have freedom to be like, yo, you know, what's good? Like,
but what about these superstars, these extra cocky guys, which are really leaders in scoring? You really need him on the court to play good, because of them team winning. And then if he acts in a shitty way, will you speak to him, or will you think twice and shut up because you really need him to not feel offended and be focused on the game, even if he behaved really bad to our teammates?
In my opinion, this is why, like, I want to say like having a captain or having those like veteran guys on a team is so important, because what should happen is, if that's the case, I'll say it on the national team, for example, if you got a guy like Matt Anderson, Max Holt, David Smith, legends, been around, they're 38, 39, and then you have like an 18-year-old who's just coming into the gym, or a really young guy, for that young guy to be like, Matt, you got to pass that ball perfect, everyone would be like, what? But in your point, it's like, well, we want to create a culture that's equal for everyone. Yeah. So it's like this, I agree with you, but also I think, there has to be some level of like respect in some regard. But I think ultimately, if you have a teammate, and we've all been there, where that's just like toxic, like clearly toxic, you need to be able to express that to them, and you need to be able to hopefully have created an environment where you can be the young guy and feel like, hey, I know I'm younger, I know I haven't earned the respect of all the world yet, or all of volleyball yet, but like, this is how I feel. To me, that's like a beautiful way I hope that our sport and sports in general go. And I think one way to bridge that gap right now is to have a teammate like you, someone who's a captain, an older guy, to be like, Andre, you're seeing this, right? Like, this is how this guy's making me feel. Maybe you can help me bring this up to him, because I don't feel I can, Yeah,
for sure. It's always easier to to stood up and point on the young guy that, like, for example, I'm the captain. So it's much easier to go to the 18-year-old guy who is first year doing pro and to yell at him that he didn't pass the ball good, or he made a stupid mistake from easy ball in spiking. And after, when I have my friend who I'm playing like 25 years, shoulder in shoulder, like next to him, and he's my good friend, and I see he's doing bullshit, and it's more difficult to go to him and say, man, like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, you're right.
But this is the point. I think in the ideal world, this should work like this, that you go the same to this young guy, and this young guy can go back to me with the same, doing the same points when he see I'm doing some mistakes. And also, because I didn't finish this thought at the beginning, when we go on the sport hall to practice and you pass that door, like, everything should happen there on this practice. And when we finish, it's like it never happened. Like, we go outside and we can go and, drink beer or go for a coffee together, but we can argue there inside, even be close to, fighting or shouting on each other. And really, like, you can think, if somebody's looking from the outside, they can think like this guy hate each other, or they will go and this guy will punch the other guy. But after you go out, you take a shower and you are like, okay, let's go have a dinner together, or whatever, my place or your place. And this is how I think it should work in the team.
And how do you make that work?
Practice
and respect, right? And like respect. The only way that works is genuine respect for someone else. If we had a player who was like kind of a shithead on the court, he thought he was so good, maybe he was a starter, and outside the court he was the same kind of person, like, fuck that guy. That would be a huge problem for me, So to me, the only way that works is because we've set a level of respect, and maybe some of us are better at handling our volleyball emotions than other people. That's okay. That's family, that's teammates, that's co-workers. Like, that's a part of creating a bigger project. And I think, being able to have some level and build some level of respect in whatever culture or team you go into is just so necessary for bridging the gap between trying to be vulnerable and trying to express how you feel for the betterment of the project, of the team, of the ultimate goal, which is to, win. And that's it,
Yeah, because in the end of the day, we all do it to win the games. And if you, like, during the week, if you don't react, if you see somebody is doing bullshit, if you don't react, and after we are losing the game, for example, because of some mistakes of this guy on who you were not reacting during the week of practices, then you feel like inside that something is killing you, like, because you know that it was your mistake, not his. It was your mistake because you didn't do nothing. You could help and maybe solve the situation during this week of practices, and after maybe we could do better in the game. And because I was not saying anything, this guy this guy kept doing the same, and we lost. We would never know because I didn't react. So it's always better to speak and to solve all the problems inside the team, in the locker room, and before the game. And so after on the game, there is clean situation, and everybody is sure of each other. And
to be clear too, I feel like you guys as an older group, like you've seen how cultures have changed. Like I saw it on the national team, how like there was this one culture of volleyball style where guys were just super hard on each other, super kind of like have tough skin. We don't need to fucking talk about everything and have these big team meetings. Like just fucking do your job, show up, like let's go win a gold medal. That was the vibe. And then it transitioned into more, and this is just with Team USA in my experience, but then it transitioned into more like, let's create a healthier culture where we can talk about our problems and express how we feel in a way where we don't feel like we're being criticized, where we understand that it's out of love and not out of frustration. But I would love to know from you guys, like, have you seen in your years of playing like a culture shift at all in Polish volleyball or just in general?
I think it's much easier now for the young guys to come inside the teams. When I came 17 years ago to my first pro team, and yeah, I had big stars in the team also from the US. I said in a few episodes before, Brooke Billings was there and Phil Eaterton from the national team of USA, but these guys were not that hard on me. Like I had some national team players, like multi-medalists from Polish Plus Liga in my team, and yeah, one time I remember I didn't dive to one ball. I was in defense in 5, and this middle who used to play many years in national team, he jumped in option to the block, and Pete Nowakowski spiked on his block, and the ball was going like so far away that for sure I couldn't defense this ball. So I didn't move. I just stood there and I watched the ball, and it flew away. And this guy who jumped in option in block, like he almost killed me, and he shouted on me so hard, like in Polish it was really impressive. I cannot say this in English, but I remember these words that
Was it in Polish? Yeah, say it in Polish.
No, because YouTube would block us.
Okay.
But
can we beep stuff out? We got to learn to bleep stuff out.
We have to beep everything what he said to me, and I remember this till this day. And yeah, after I was like diving to every ball, even if I could see that it's impossible for me to dig them, and I'm doing this till this day. Like even if I know that it's impossible to take this ball, I'm diving, and this is what I expect from the younger guys, also from all the guys, to show that you fight for the ball and to try, and because maybe 99 balls you will not get, but this one ball which you thought it's impossible to get, and suddenly you dive, and for the accident you dig it, and we can play, and maybe you win 1 point.
Do you notice anything from the younger kids coming up? I know you're not in the national team anymore, but do you notice anything from like do you sense anything that's different in a good way, in a negative way? Like, do you have some opinion about like the young guys coming up?
I think because also, as I said, they have easier way to go into the teams. They don't go inside with such a respect like I did this 17 years ago to the older guys. Like they are more cocky. Yeah, cocky is the word. They are more cocky, confident, and this is like this goes both ways. Like it's good
just
and bad.
Don't give a fuck, man.
Also they act many times like they don't give a fuck, and this can go both ways. Like maybe it's also good and bad, because I experienced many different like situations with the younger guys who showed disrespect to me or to some other, like to coach, to other teammates, that if I did the same 17 years ago, these guys will kick me out of the locker room and I couldn't play with them volleyball anymore if I act the same. And
can I say something really quick?
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you, but I think it's so interesting because the classic like older generation saying to the younger generation is always like, oh, you're just so much more entitled now. You know, back in my day, you know, we had to wipe floors, and I wiped the floor for Team USA for like 3 years, bro. Like I remember those times, and now you see these kids who like they don't have to do any of that, and they seem so much more entitled. And like, hey, shouldn't we all be equal? What I find so ironic in some ways, like you said earlier, how important it is to create a culture where there is equality, and yet the older I get, I'm like, yeah, I think I deserve a little more fucking respect, dude. You know, like, and granted, I think I've earned some of it, and I think I'm not saying I don't feel that. I do feel that in a way I think is positive and a good thing, and a healthy thing. But I do think it's like it is really interesting, you know, that I don't know. In some way, it's easy for us to like look at the younger generation and be like, look how entitled they are. That's like parents would say that about the younger generation, you know. But like, what are they bringing that's also maybe like a really healthy thing? Like, where's the balance? Where do you guys fit in between like? You want respect, and you feel like the younger, if you were an 18-year-old coming to Warsaw for the first time, it's your first year pro, like in some way you need to earn something, and at the same time, maybe not. Maybe we do need to create an equal environment. What do you think about that?
Yeah, because also like the respect is something you earn, and for some guys, it's enough to know that these older guys, I don't know, they won so many titles and they have these medals, and this is impressive for them, and this is what makes them respect these players. But some guys don't care like about the medals. They need to confront you on the practice, or confront you. Yeah, this is the word.
Yeah.
To confront you on the practice or outside the practice, like face to face, and maybe they check how you will react on them showing you they don't give a fuck what you think or what you want. That they came here and they want to win more than you, and they are better than you, even if you have all these medals. And maybe this is also the way. So yeah, there is no way, not one way that you can earn respect, I think.
I totally agree with you, but I've also seen like older players. I know a few like much older players to me that I see treating now some of the younger guys with a little bit of like that old school mentality where it does, and I don't want to say it fades off the court as well. It's kind of the same, but you can just tell there's this like, yo, you fucking, this is what I think, and you got to respect me, and like, who the fuck are you to be acting like that, you know? And so that I think is a little bit, I hate to say toxic because it's such like a trendy word, but in some way, you know, it's like a little bit toxic too. It's like, where can we find a happy medium? Because the happy medium to me is you should, as a younger player, respect players who have earned the respect of working hard, taking care of their bodies, playing well, like winning, like those things. To me, I want to, like when I was young, I was like, oh my God, I had the most respect for David Lee, Russ Holmes, like all these legend middle blockers. When I was growing up, I was like, yeah, dude, what do you need? What can I learn from you? And those guys were also really cool. I felt like we had a good group with USA, but there's always been some, you know, players who I think that old school mentality where I'm like, I agree with you, but I also think it's not.
But have you ever been disrespectful to some of your teammates, like before when you were younger, or no? Like on purpose?
Interesting. Like, what do you mean exactly? Like,
I don't know, like in some, that you were the young guy in the team and you wanted to check them, you know, to check their boundaries and
I was the young guy, or I was the older guy?
Both. You can say both. Like maybe some young guys were checking you, or maybe you were the younger guy and you were checking the olders.
Dude, to be honest, and I know this is like, maybe you won't believe me, but no. I think I've always been really good at, I was raised by Christian parents. Okay, let's put it that way, dude. I think I've always been like someone who really, really has respected the older generation, and at the same time was never afraid to voice my opinion, but always, I think I was good at reading the room, you know? So I wasn't going to like cause a scene or say something that was like, who do you think you are? Like, I was not that guy. I was always like, oh, I'm not good enough I wouldn't, you know, but at the same time wasn't afraid to like express how I felt. And more so because I thought I was like so unique and special with how honest I was growing up and in college. And I was excited when I was finally the older guy and I could be like to the young guys, like, yeah, let's go mess around, dude. Like, I'm your boy, you know. I want to be that, look at this older guy who's like really cool and nice to me and makes me feel like I can be myself and isn't that old school kind of like, you got to earn my friendship, you know. And I know a lot of players who were like that. So I've always prided myself on not being that type of person. And I think it's allowed me to connect with the younger generation specifically, because I do treat everyone as an equal in some way, you know?
So you said that Jeski is the guy who is first like reacting in the locker room of Team USA when somebody is doing bullshit, yeah?
I think Jeski, and I love him for it. I think he's the best person to do it also.
So my question is, who is the guy who gets his ass beaten, like the first guy who is like getting so many, I don't know, bad words from Jeski and from the others because of how he's acting on the court and outside of the court in the team.
Some insider news now.
Tell us.
We need some gossips.
There is just 3 of us. Nobody's listening.
No, I mean, dude, to be completely honest, like right now on Team USA, we have a pretty solid squad.
Boring.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I will say, like, for example, there was this young kid, Mason Briggs, who's a libero, who was like maybe last year, the year
He's not anymore.
No, I mean, I'm just saying he's like a younger guy. He's probably like 3rd or 4th in line. Look, when I started with you at Team USA, I was on Team USA and I was the 8th middle. I didn't see the court for 4 or 5 years after that, you know, like the senior team at least.
Who was the first? David Lee?
Yeah, it was David Lee, Russ Holmes.
Yeah.
A group of just legends. Max Holt, David Smith, guys who are like, even now I'm like, why are you guys still playing? You're like freaking 40 years old. These guys are like, you talk about.
I have goosebumps because I've played against each one of them. Really.
Yeah, man. And
they were such a good players.
And like, think about David Lee, think about Russ Holmes, think about David Smith, Max. Like, those are also incredible examples of like the type of teammate you'd want. Like, super fun and silly. I mean, David Lee had no idea who I was and treated me like an equal from the beginning.
That's so cool.
And also guys who like always working hard. Like, they had that separation between like, I'm showing up to work hard, to kill you, to kill me in like a loving way. And then after the court, like, let's go fuck around and like have fun together. It was just like so great. But yeah, there was this, just to be honest, there was this kid, Mason, who I love. I genuinely love him. But he is that kind of like really confident kid, and he's still in college. He's a junior in college. So he's 21. So there are some older guys on our team who were like, this kid's coming in with like way too much cocky, confident energy. And I see how they could think that when they see him. And I saw that right away, and he was my roommate for one of the trips too. And I got to know him, and that's why I love him. And it's a great example of how like some guys are just, it's like, it's not his fault that he's just this like happy-go-lucky kid who just like loves volleyball and wants to get better and is stoked and isn't afraid to be like, you know, like getting reps, and didn't understand that like maybe give this, like let this guy, like don't ask for equal playing time in certain situations or like for practice stuff, or like let them. And he was great. I don't know. I'm like, I don't want to talk in circles because I am trying to be nice. And at the same time, he wasn't a problem. There were certain old school guys on our team at that time who were like, yo, this kid's like giving off vibes right now that are like, he needs to earn his respect on this team before he's like, you know? And I see both angles of it, you know? I respect the younger generation for being confident and wanting to be treated like an equal. I want to create that type of environment for my teammates. And at the same time, like, hopefully whoever you are, you have some level and understanding of like, yeah, give these guys respect. And what you'll find is when you give older guys who, let's say, deserve respect, a level of respect, and you're someone who works hard, you immediately get brought in with open arms, I think.
I will just say this was like the perfect ending for this episode. Is what you said right away. So
I can't not address the third wall, dude. We had a quick little meeting. We're shutting the episode down, dude. Okay, I think it was a good move. We have a couple more amazing questions lined up. We even had a superstar on deck.
We have a superstar, but this superstar will be in the next episode.
Yeah, they'll be in the next episode.
Episode 5th. So we are ending episode 4.
Let's end it. Yeah.
So please, if you like watching what we are doing here and listening, this is the most important. If you like listening to us, please subscribe and please give the thumbs up. And what you do, you give 5 stars on Spotify. Also, if you like our podcast,
do all the stuff. And if you don't want to do any of that, the least you can do is send us a DM of a question you got, or at least that you like the show, that you're enjoying it. Like, I don't know, I gotta do a better job of promoting it, I'll tell you that much, because right now I think a huge bit of our fan base is like in Poland, which I love, you know, but like I want this to be a worldwide project. I want to bring
some of your fans to us, like from from USA.
Yes, I have so much fun. I want to. I'm going to start promoting it more, but I enjoy doing this. It's like the conversations we get into to me are like so fun. As you can tell, dude, like we only did one question this episode. Like we got a lot of shit to say, and I'm having a blast doing it. So if you guys do love this podcast, please like, subscribe, hit the freaking bell, dude. Share it with your mom. You know, I don't know. Valentine's Day is coming up. Maybe you set a nice romantic little dinner. Maybe you finish with an episode of Volley Hotline. You draw a nice warm bath. You get the rose petals. You put it on the projector. You guys take a nice bath. And you watch. You know, I don't know, eat a nice duck confit. What is it called? Duck confit.
What?
What's that called? It's like, I think it's duck confit. Will you look it up, Kropis? Duck confit. I think it's like a fancy way to cook a duck.
I don't even know how to write it, man.
Duck confit. So duck, D-U-C-K,
Okay.
Confit, C-O-N-F-E-I-T. I'm not exactly sure, but I
okay.
think it's French. Duck confit.
Okay.
Anyways,
It's a
Maybe
French
some
dish.
foie
It's a
gras,
French dish.
foie gras
made
or
with
what?
whole duck, man. So,
it's a
looking
fancy
nice,
French.
yeah.
Looking nice. That's what I'm saying.
nice.
Duck confit, baby.
Okay,
Oh, that's
bon
good.
appetit, guys. Oh, not this one.
We don't use the buttons as much as we should. All right, we love you guys, dude. We'll see you for the next episode.
One day before Valentine's.
Ooh, maybe we'll do something. We'll wear all red or lipstick. Who knows?
Yeah. Bye, guys.